Stewardship with SNB. Stewardship with SNB.
Hello, good afternoon everyone, and thank you for joining us on the program Stewardship with SNB on Rstv. This program is viewed on our social media handles such as YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. You can also watch us on GoTV channel 142 and of course on Start Time channel 113. My name is Solomon Nelson. The roving camera lens of Stewardship caught up with one of the solar benefactors of local government projects, precisely the Building Local Government. We want to find out how best he can drive the charge given to them by the state solar benefactor of River State in the person of evacuating the mass. Today I am joined in the studio with the solar administrator of the Building Local Government. First, let me start this way. You were a middle level staff as a cashier. What makes you think that you have the needed experience to administer the local government area?
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Isaiah Christian NJOBUAWU, the Soul and the Father of Equal Government. First of all, let me use the medium to thank the state administrator, Rear and retired, who deemed it necessary to appoint me among millions of people in the government to be in charge of this LGA. I want to return the glory to God for finding me worthy. However, local government training has been my territory for the past 15 years. As an accountant in Degema, spent 2 years in Degema before I was transferred to Equal Government as a treasury cashier. I have served over 5 chairmen directly, and within that period, I gained a lot of experience with different government chairmen. I work with Honorable Dr. Samuel Wanosike. I work with Honorable Asamagogo caretaker. I work with Honorable Wozuri Bishop as caretaker. I work with Honorable Wandeko as caretaker, and so many others. In Degema, as an accountant, I work under the supervision of Mr. Ichimu as council treasurer. And I have passed through so many treasurers in different government. So I have gained the experience and the workings of how government administration is organized. So this gives me the footing to stand firm in administrating the government. Thank you.
Would it be correct to say that we rode on the shoulders of the former chairman of the council, Wanosike, to get this appointment?
No.
In other ways, I can say that the relationship with the FCT minister also helped to get this appointment. Is that correct?
No, I don't know FCT minister personally. Honestly, is not the only chairman I have worked with. I worked under some, I worked under as caretaker. I worked under Honorable Wozuri, being best bishop, caretaker. I worked under Sunday Wandeko, under caretaker. I worked under even briefly with Darlington Orji before I was relieved from the appointment. So it is not a direct beneficiary from someone or extremism.
All right, let's come back to your charge as given by the solar administrator of the state, Okete Mass. You were given specific assignments to tackle, ranging from education, health, of course, security building, and the rest of them. How have you been able to tackle these areas in the particular office as solar administrator of the area?
Well, first of all, I also want to thank the state administrator for opening the council for us, for over 8 months or 7 months, no one was able to access this council except when I was appointed. And since I resumed office, the activity the council has restarted. We could have done much without accessing the council premises. So we want to thank the state administrator, the BACS, for giving us the opportunity to come back to the council, especially the staffs and other citizens that find one thing or the other to be in the council to access it. So I want to thank the security agents for maintaining peace during this period. However, the charge we are given, one of them is primary health care. As we resume, we have interacted with the primary health care department. Specifically, we sponsored or supported the immunization program that just ended. We have taught 2 or 3 health centers, directly finding out from them their specific needs assessment, and we're able to see what we can do, identify need, what we can do to enhance the primary health care delivery. Of course, we know that it's not only the government can handle all the problem of primary health. We also seek collaboration with the state and federal government to assist in primary health care, because this will help to reduce the burden at the tertiary institution.
Tell us your relationship with the workforce as to cover rates of harm in the development area.
Thank you. Since I came, the worker received me warmly because I am their own. The day I came in here, after I was swearing in, they were overjoyed. They were singing praises of me, and I have also supported their program, especially Workers' Day. I celebrated the Workers' Day with them. All that is necessary for workers and development to celebrate that May Fest, I give to them. And the promotion areas, promotion that was implemented by the state administrator, I also continue. Recently, the health department also asked, you heard that we are already demanding for coherent salary structure. As directed, I have also implemented. So the steps are happening.
Interesting. All right. One of the charges that the Solar Institute was peace building, keeping the peace in the local government area. Of course, you know that it is an open matter that there are factions. The 106 faction in the local government area, of course, the 65 faction. Have you been able to bring these factions round to discuss peace and the way forward?
Well, one of my charges is not to bring political interest. One of my charges wasn't to bring political interest parties.
So peace building?
Yes. No, people I mentioned are those who have political interest. I don't have political interest. What I mentioned office, I met with the traditional rulers who are key stakeholders in this building. I will not ask to interact with party officials or political party members. I am only here to interact with traditional rulers, the security agencies and the government. That is what we are asked to do. Interfacing with the political players will drag myself to the mud. Therefore, the peace building will start with the stability of the various wards and communities. That is what I have been doing.
Okay, so what specific challenge would you say, the security challenge, would you say the local government has since you took over?
Well, for us, insecurity in local government have reduced significantly. But one of the challenges we have is vandalization of access, electricity access. If you go from IKWERRE to Airport Junction, from Igrita to Obama, all the electrical instrumentations that were installed by this Dr. Herbert Wiebe, by the community, Oma community, through the effort of Engineer Grankofo and others to restore it to Omaba and Ishu were vandalized. So one of the security that is pervading the government is vandalization of public utilities, access. This is what we are working on to ensure that our people do not vandalize public access. Especially, my duty is also to protect both local and national access. So we are working with the partner surveillance to ensure that assets of federal government are protected. So the insecurity in IKWERRE, kidnapping and criminality to an extent has reduced. But what we are faced currently is vandalization of public assets.
Have you been able to make any arrests?
Well, security agencies have
Because of the investigation.
security agencies have not.
All right, let's move on. In the area of education, what have you done to the loss of our school children?
Thank you very much. On Association Office, the school were on holiday, and as school resumed, first of all, I went to St. Martin's Primary School, Omama, where I, on my own, interacted with the pupils and the students. I think it was on air a few days ago. And one of the challenges they identify is the overgrown waste in the council. Dilapidated windows, stolen, vandalized properties of the primary schools, no water, no public convenience that is functional. I did my necessary, as a matter of fact, in the government, to go around to clear all the premises of the primary schools. Starting from Omama, the waste around there have also been evacuated. If you go there, I'm also repairing the gates because I found out that over time the criminal, take advantage of the nature of the gate to, vandalize property there. And if you go to Ishobu, I've also cleared St. Peter Primary School, St. Cyprian Primary School. If you go to Zaha, Ibima, and Omademi, I have cleared the second primary school for students to go back to schools. This is what I have done. Other things I have also identified is the water system. Also identified that some of them have broken tanks, and I'm making an effort to replace those tanks. There are things we cannot do based on our income, but we also feel that the primary school board will intervene because over time this public assets have been overstretched and they needed replacement.
Yeah, thinking of waste around that Equator, leading to the EG, has been a source of concern. Have you done anything about it?
We have evacuated all this refuse around the Equator HA area. Along Raboko to Equator by Opium side we have evacuated, Equator we have evacuated, Oma we have evacuated, those heap of refuse we have evacuated. We continue to evacuate waste every day. Those that, of course, know that the challenge of waste in Equator is becoming enormous due to the Equator is a gateway to Port Harcourt and it's urbanizing, population is increasing, especially greater and Omaba. So we are tackling them head on. So that is one of our charge to tackle sanitation and environment. And if you look at from Raboko to Elele, have cleared the road medians. It was an eyesore to the public road users and posing insecurity to road users. But from Raboko, the boundary of Equator and Raboko have cleared the road median to Elele, heading to Mare, to ensure that road users go unhindered. Security agents can also cite if there's anyone who wants to, be hindrance to road users. So this is what I have done within the short period of time.
All right, Administrator, Children's Days around the corner. Do you have any plans for the children?
Absolutely.
What are the plans coming?
Okay. The Director of Education, before he came, she also came here. So we have identified Children's Day as a day to celebrate our children. So we are inviting both primary and secondary school, public and private, that will come here to showcase their talent. We have also made arrangements to also reward them for their diligence. I cannot mention what we will do, but those that participated will have a reward for first, second, and third. We also have consolation prizes. One of the things we want to do is to also get them notebooks, because you know that when you give them physical cash, the children will not benefit. So we are changing our narrative, either to monetize this thing in acquiring notebook, pencil, and Bible, and give to the schools to share to the students, than monetizing it and maybe the children, people will not see anything. So we are still on it. The approval has been done to ensure that the Children's Day go unhindered. You can look at it, you can see the field, the environment of the council, what we are doing. We are preparing for Children's Day, also preparing for our office coming tomorrow to see what we are doing. So the government have been active. Every day, no day I have come to work. I have been here, going from one community to the other. Yesterday was to make the international ruler of Lele on harmonizing security issues in the community. the Majesty Bagidi III, the Blessed Wago, I had continued interaction. If you go to Apani, I had interaction with the community over the protest by the community towards the Apani Energy Company. We have been doing a lot. We've been doing a lot.
All right, accountability is key when you are administering the top tier of government, especially when it is a strategic committee. So in specific terms, what have you done with the allocations you have received so far? Looking at them sectorally, we have education, we have health, we have the sectors that the solar sector has charged in. What have you done with the money you have received so far, sectorally?
Okay, well, if you look at the allocation that came in, 60% to 70% of it is on personal cost. Personal cost. Because of the implementation of 85% minimum wage and implementation of health workers' comprehensive salary structure. It's across not only to the government, to all the government. So now our personal cost has increased to about 70%.
In other words, you say that you are paid 85,000 naira.
Yes, I paid 85,000 minimum wage. I also paid the comprehensive salary structure for health workers because they have their own salary structure. So we are directed by the state administrator to the secretary of the government to implement it because they were agitating that their structure is not minimum wage. They have their contents. So we implemented. So that also increased the salary wage bill. So apparently the salary wage bill is around 70% of total income we receive from federation account. The other thing that takes our is environment. The refuse disposal, even at the state, is a huge capital outlay. So we also take chunk of what we receive. On healthcare, we also take a chunk of what we receive to the healthcare service delivery. Primary education, ours is intervention. We are not doing holistic innovation. We're intervening. On security, we're also supporting the security agencies. So these are the things that six the income that comes in.
All right, we'll take a short break. And when we return, the administrator of the IKWERRE area will tell us more about the health centers, the community health centers in the IKWERRE area, and how they fare within the period he has held office in the IKWERRE area. Stay with us.
Stewardship with SNB. Stewardship with SNB.
Okay, if you have just joined us, the program is Stewardship with SNB from the studios of Rstv. Where we caught up with the sole administrator of the IKWERRE area, Honorable Isaiah Christie. So, Honorable Sole Administrator, once again, welcome to our program.
Thank you, sir.
Since you took over the reins of power in the IKWERRE area, have you gone around, have you visited the health centers to know their state of existence and what assistance you can give to better the loss of those who engage the health centers because of their health challenges and all of that?
Yes, since I began office, I have visited three health centers. Of course, you know that during the reign of Rstv, he built like 4 health centers. They are newly built health centers. Most of their equipment are running still. So the ones that the former governor built are the ones that are having some challenges. One of the challenges is electricity. As IKWERRE government don't have power, it affects the health center. And most of their solar panel that was installed by the Ministry of Health has been vandalized. So oftentimes they have the challenge of coming to Omagba to take their trucks that are, that are freezed. So the challenge they have mostly is power in order to store their drugs. So we visited the Uzaha Health Center, We visited the Pani Health Center and the Omawa Health Center. So one of the challenge the other health center have is power to store their drugs and shortage of manpower, in terms of security, other salary staff, cleaners to clean the health facilities. These are the things they identify as the challenges.
As a school administrator, it invariably means that you're taking decisions unilaterally, all alone. Are you comfortable taking decisions all alone? Do you welcome consultations? Do you welcome advice from other people around you?
I don't take decisions all alone. I have directors. I have head of local government, administration at the council. I have head of personnel, HPM at the council. I have director of finance, is a treasurer of the council. I have directors of agri, director of education, director of works, director of health, they call them MOH. I have the clerk. So it's a team, it's not about me. I can't take a action concerning IKWERRE, how to spend IKWERRE money. The money belongs to the people. So whatever we do here is a collaborative effort. It's not about me. It's not that I am autocratic here. Whatever I say is what I'll do. We are guided by what we are asked to do here. What I have in my hand here is what we are asked to do. We are guided. So whatever decision I want to take, I look at this. Anything outside here is I'll get directive.
Okay, so what's outside that charge that you think would be good for the local government people that can embark on?
We are not asked to embark on building projects because of the time constraint. If I had lots of time, we would have embarked on certain projects that can, enhance the well-being of our people. But since we are limited by time, we cannot start what we cannot finish. So we will be guided by the actions of what we are asked to do.
You have a short time to stay as an administrator.
Yes.
What do you think you'll be remembered for before you leave in terms of executing the charge that the state administrator has given to you?
One, transparency.
Transparency.
Yes. Honesty. Value for money. Welfare of staffs. Peace building in the IKWERRE government. I am not here for contestation with any person. They are asked to come and build peace across IKWERRE. Political divide. So I want to be remembered for being neutral, but leading IKWERRE to the path of prosperity.
What do you wish IKWERRE government did, and what do you wish River State?
What I wish IKWERRE people is to be peaceful, support the government of the state administrator. I also wish the state to ensure that there is peace in River State. Without peace, there could be any progress. Peace is necessary for any economic or political development. Therefore, I wish that River State should have peace, and IKWERRE should also have peace.
Mr. Isaac Christian,
Isaiah Christian,
Solar Administrator of IKWERRE area. Thank you so much for your time. That's it on our program. Join us again same time. Bring you another guest or a different topic. My name is Solomon Dasmariat. Bye-bye.
Stewardship with SNB. Stewardship with SNB.